Something out of a video game. Let me catch you up. Since last Monday, Steph has 4 games with at least 10 threes. That stretch alone would be the third most such games all time. He's done it since last Monday. Moreover, he's the first player ever to average 40 points, 50% from the field, 40% on threes, and 90% from the line over an 11-game span. And after the explosion last night, he has now surpassed Bradley Beal and is the league scoring leader. He's averaging 31.4 points per game. And that's not the only thing that changed last night. How about the MVP odds? According to Caesar Sportsbook by William Hill, before the game last night, he was 50-1 for MVP. After the game, he's 20-1. Let me bring Tim Legler back into the conversation. Legs, we talked earlier, and I've been thinking a little bit more about it. How would you put into context, in a season that has been as challenging for so many reasons as this one has been, what this stretch from a player like this, who was so universally beloved, what this has meant for the sport?
Yeah, I honestly believe it salvaged the regular season. You know, I thought the trading deadline did a little bit of that for us because it added some excitement to what we knew was coming down the road. But when you look at this season in its totality, Greeny, I don't think there's ever been a year where we've had so many star players miss so many games, and particularly when those matchups were going to take place. And a lot of those national TV games that everybody was excited about, and you turn it on and most of those guys aren't there. So to have Steph Curry inject this type of electricity into the season the way that he has done, and he has now captured everybody, where you say to yourself, when are the Warriors playing next? Because I need to watch that game, because I need to see what Steph is doing. It's really incredible to think at age 33, he could have another one of these runs in him, because you think, you know, he's blown my mind to the extent that he possibly can to this point in his career, and yet here he is doing it again. I was thinking it'd be like pulling up a chair and sitting there and watching when Michelangelo painted the Sistine Chapel. Like, the best doing their best work. The problem is you'd have to sit there for about 5 years. This has been over the course of a few weeks to watch Steph Curry do this, but this is the best offensive stretch of an amazing career, and we're all fortunate to be able to witness it.
It's a good analogy. It's been a masterpiece. I don't think that's overstating it. I just showed you the odds for MVP. He went from 50-1 to 20-1. Right now, where does he stand in your MVP mind, and where do you think this could go?
Yeah, he's certainly top 5, and he's inching up. Maybe he's going to work his way into the top 3. I think ultimately there's so much value put into winning when it comes to this award. So when you look at a guy like Joel Embiid, who has the Sixers in first place in the Eastern Conference, you look at a Nikola Jokic, and you know, they've won certainly at a higher level than Golden State has this year, and he's really making a surge. Jokic also for MVP, and had another huge night again last night. You know, winning is it's so weighted toward the guys that are winning at a higher level. It might be hard for Steph to actually win the award, but I think you're silly if you don't look at him and think he's got to be certainly in the top 5, maybe even as high as top 3. When you look at the way that team's been decimated by injuries, and he's going out there every night carrying this team, knowing full well every defense is geared to try to prevent him from doing exactly what he's doing at the highest level he's ever done it. That's all you need to know about Steph Curry. So he's elevated himself into the conversation for sure. I just think ultimately there's going to be a couple of guys that have their teams winning at a higher level, and that award really values winning, as it should.
Yeah, and that's fair. I would say, though, if you take the word valuable literally, it's kind of hard to, as that's how I wanted to frame this conversation, how valuable it has been for the league to have Steph doing what he's doing. I think that does get factored in. All right, Legs, outstanding. Thank you. Great to see you, as always. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.